because at the end of the day, we're kind of all in it together. He mentioned the fact that there is no secrets in the horse training industry. We're just basically all in it together. Anything he knows, he's willing to share with you. I appreciate that a whole bunch. So, what we're going to be doing, Stephen's going to be talking a little bit. We'll be kind of going back and forth a little bit. We're going to be bringing the horses in, showing that slow both ways. I do believe he'll be doing all of that. As far as introducing the horses and everything, we'll do that as they come along. LaVon and Rosemary and Glenn Miller will be handing out forms to fill out that can be dropped at the next gym booth or the Dr. Gum Coffee Bar Sterling E-Plane. We're actually going to be doing a big giveaway for a power ring unit to one lucky person that fills out. That's a really cool deal. You can get to all that later. But with that said, Stephen Miller. I think it's pretty hot. Went fishing with a guy down. Went fishing with a guy go high and Steve fishing. He got a little bit of white in his face. One time he said, I think I'm going to be sick. About the time he was going to be sick, he was. Okay, Stephen Miller, world famous. Let's hear it from Northern Indiana and Rosemary Miller. Let's go. Take it away, Stephen.
All right, so I'm very honored to be out here. It's just a cool thing to be able to share some of this stuff with you. This is just my opinion. It's not a right or a wrong. I always say that use your common sense, try the things I say, but there is a lot of things that we do. The little things is what I feel like can set you apart in the show ring. It comes down to how you set the harness, how you set the cart. So I'm going to run through real quick kind of what we look for in the show ring, that I want you all to watch the class, pick them apart. It's not about these horses. I don't want you to talk bad about one or the other. These are young horses, and I'm very thankful that these guys are willing to bring them in here so we can talk about something. So first thing first, how to sit the cart. That's a big thing. When you go around there, make sure that outside leg is completely stiff and the inside leg is bent. And what that does, that helps keep your cart behind your horse, which helps trot the turn. So a lot of these horses, they really struggle to hop through the turns and stuff, and some of that is training, but also a lot of that is how you drive them through the turn. Another thing with that, in the turn, I always speed up. When you get to that turn and you're trying to whoop, 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 that horse will stumble through the turn every time. If you get to that turn, that's when you pour it on, they sit on their haunches, and that's how you get them to trot the turn. So there is a lot of little things that you can go on and on. We can spend all day talking about it. So don't get too lost in the front end on a horse. Yes, we want a good front end, but when I go to find a road horse, I look at their back end first. If their back end can't support that front end, there's no point in trying.
So, you just want to make sure they don't kick.
Yeah, you want to make sure they don't kick. But we're going to bring these horses.
Just help us out.
We're going to bring all these horses in here. At the end of it, we're going to ask you to get a little loud for them, cheer them on, see if they can handle it. And that's another thing that is good practice, time and time again. You don't get there in one day. So I think if they're ready out there, let's bring some horses in. I'm not going to do a whole lot of talking while they're in here, except for just calling out the gates. I want you all to take your time. And another thing, as a judge, I'm standing in here, so ears are so important. When you get to the middle of the pack in the class, that first place horse usually jumps out and finds you. But those ears can step into fifth in a sail ring, anything you do. If a horse's ears are up, you're going to catch people's attention. So if they're ready out there, have them come in. We enter the ring at a jog, which is another thing that's very important. Everybody wants to go fast, and they get to do that for a small portion of it. But if you can't get your horse to do it right, going slow, you're never going to win any classes. Can you? You've got the information on these horses, Delmer. Can you tell everybody what we've got?
Richard Yoder entered the gate with Amazing Allison. I wish I could do that a little better.
That's close.
Maynard left right with time on too low. All the way from Chichewa, Indiana. Scooter Sherrick was from Cascade City with Raisin Doe.
And Scooter is all the way from New Orleans.
That's a long way. John Hirschberger with OU Chrome. There we see.
All right, so these horses are in here going at the jog, and now you're going to see Scooter scooting up to this guy. He's going to get himself in a good position. He's not going fast to change speed. He wants to get himself in a good position, so when I call for that next gear, he has enough room to go. So it's not always about going fast. 90% of the time you want to go slow so you can go fast. So if we got everybody on the rail at the jog. And make sure and watch these horses all the way through the turn. Drivers, rotate please. See how Richard's mare doesn't miss a beat in the turn? That's what you need to be a road horse. Back to the jog and reverse.
As many of you guys know, these horses are used to hearing the crowd do, so whenever they reverse, let's hear it for them, guys. Let's get into it just a little bit. Let's hear it a little bit. 1, 2.
And once again, when you reverse, you go back to that jog. So that first speed, that jog is very important. Don't get too focused on going fast. These standards are plenty fast enough. You need to go slow and look pretty. All right, road gate. So now when I call for speed, I want to hear this place erupt. All right, let's go for speed. You think that's all we got, Dylan?
I don't.
I think we got a little bit more than that.
Let's hear it. You don't like it, go home.
All right, back to the job. Let's line up. That's another thing. These lineups are very important. When you got an amateur horse, you have to stand. You can't touch your horse. You can stand in front of them, but you have to stand. They have to be amateur friendly.
You guys pay a little attention here. I'm going to ask you guys which one's best here. That's all right, Steve.
That's all right. That's all right by me. How are we going to do it?
I guess it's kind of up to you, but how about we do a people's choice or some kind of deal?
Well, let's let them get lined up first. Are they going to stand good?
Great idea, David.
What was David's idea?
You just talking about taking.
All right, so in the lineup, you might be able to stand here comfortable. These are actually all very amateur friendly. So in about 30 seconds, these judges would have their cards in. And then you can walk, you can do whatever. But that lineup, so manners, make sure, manners. These show horses, if they come in here, they're just hot, jumping around, being stupid, that makes it so much harder for us. Because we have to start stopping, like we teach our horses to stop before we ever teach them to go forward. Because if you can't stop and stand, a person has an accident, a check comes off, a shoe comes off, all of these things. You got to be able to take that horse that was just performing at 100 maximum performance to a 0 for 5 minutes. Because you can have a 5-minute timeout in a class, and you have to walk around for 5 minutes, and then you got to ask them to go back to the rail and do it all over again. So make sure, teach the horses manners. These buggy horses are, I love it there's a buggy before I get in, because usually they'll stop and stand. So it's not just about going fast. So we're gonna, let's do, you want to get a people's choice?
That's what I say.
Let's put them back on the rail for that, though.
That's good with me.
All right, you good with that?
Then I'll call out the names.
We're gonna
call
go
out
back
the
in.
names, and you guys let us hear whoever you think is the best.
This way, fast way. Go fast way, Peter.
How are we supposed to know what the fast way is?
Well, the way they're going. The way they go when they race.
Richard said, let's get out of here. Oh! Okay, how about we do that people's choice, you think? First, let's hear it for them all one more time. Let's get them wide awake and ready to go. And Gordyville, okay, who all thinks that Scooter Sherrick from Cascade Stables and Racing Knoll is the best horse here tonight? Let's hear it. Scooter Sherrick, you think he's the best? Who all thinks that Tymo Tulo with Vader Nightbright is the best horse in the crowd tonight? And I hope none of them two guys was the winner. Who all thinks that Richard Yoder with Amazing Allison is the best horse in the crowd? Richard, hold that. Okay, who all thinks that John Hirschberger with a black horse, oh you chrome, is the best horse in the auction?
Okay, so with that, now that you've all decided, I'm going to give you a little bit of insight on mine. So Richard's horse, I'll hats off to this mare, didn't make a mismove. She keeps her ears up, she trots the turn, but she has also shown for 3 years. But that is a wonderful road horse. She would fit the amateur specs. She would fit the open specs at Louisville. They want them just a little bit bigger and bolder, but you cannot paint a better amateur-friendly horse than Amazing Allison in here today. She was perfect. These other horses haven't shown as much. Scooter Sherrick, that is a wagon horse through and through. He's a big, strong horse. He's powerful through the turn. He's going to have enough strength to pull a wagon. Amazing Allison, I don't know if she will or not, but she's going to struggle a little bit more. The Tymo Tulio, another young horse, he could be an amateur horse. I think he could be open, but a wagon horse, look, he's a powerful back end, and another really nice young horse, and same with John's horse. I think he would fit the open, amateur, or wagon. So when you go to buy these horses, just because they got a cool front end, just because they can do it, you guys can slow down. I know your horses are wearing out. We're going to ask you one more time to go for it, so do whatever you want. But these horses are, so when I'm looking for a certain horse, I've got so many people there, well, I got this horse, I think he could be a show horse, but, and he probably could. But for what I'm looking for, each division has different specs. Under saddle division, Tymo Tulio, I think he could probably wear a saddle. There's not very many standardbreds anymore that are modern enough to compete with the crossbreds. But I think the way you guys are breeding them, there will be a day where, I mean, it's very obvious that the standardbreds have the running gear. So make sure, just because they're cool, just because everybody gets so caught up in the show horse and the front end, but there's so many different specs. Every division has a different spec. You have a kid's horse, and the way these horses operated, you know, kids is all about manners. Amateur is manners. Speed is like third on the list for that. The open, obviously, speed is your main thing, but your open horses are honestly probably one of the hardest horses to sell. So slow before you go fast. I couldn't stress it more if you want to train a show horse. You got one more round in you? Anything else I should say? We're not going to sing for you.
Football team for Lamar Miller. You need to go to Lamar Miller's stall. The Roadster team, go to the stall. Locker room.
Richard said he wants me to stress a little bit more on being solid in the turns, and he is 100% right. If you cannot trot the turns, you will get beat every time. I don't care how cool you are on the straightaway. So if you think you've got a show horse, go home and make sure they can trot that turn in the long line, in the bike, whatever you got to do to make those horses stay square and push off of their back end through the turn. So I think we're going to put them all on the rail. We're going to for them as they go out, open up the hole, and I believe that's going to lead us into the football game that I'm hearing about. I'm not exactly sure what that is, but Delmer sure is excited.
That's what I'm excited about. I don't know either what to expect. Sometimes the unknown has got a lot.
All right, Richard, take one lap and out the hole and make noise for Amazing Allison. A great guy for the great horse.
Richard Yoder as he makes the Richard lap. Right here in the floor. I think you got a little bit more before she goes out. She was the people's choice. John Hirschberger and all you out here from the cell. That is my way to go, Sugar. Let's hear it all the way from the line. He's got and lots of alleys, heading out right. He's not looking good, heading out the hole. Thank you very much. You don't like that. Go home. Oh, that guy was fun. I'm more out. We need another announcer now for the endless. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, do not forget. Okay, yes, exactly. We have got a lot of forms here to get in on winning that deal from them guys. I'm telling you that Power Rain unit, that's going to be a really cool deal. This Power Rain unit is basically an automatic draw ring. You've got a remote for it. So you're going down the road, you can do all that. It's like a check ring, exactly. It's a check ring, but it's an automatic unit that you got a remote for. I need you guys, and everyone fill one of these out to get in that drawing. Also, what it's going to do is they are going to go ahead and send out a lot of information, basically, about their training techniques right to your email, right to your mailbox. You really do want to get that there filled out as soon as you can. David Troyer calling me now. Yes, sir. Delmo Ladder with ESPN. Each team to Blackmore Farms. Each team to Blackmore Farms is the direct request from your captain, David Troyer. Are we doing that right now? I've never been on TV before.